2012 marks the 50th year since the integration of ACU. Find out how the university is celebrating the history of diversity and how things have changed from then to now.
And this year, students can dust off their dancing shoes after Student Life made a significant policy change. Details coming up.
Welcome to the JMC Network Newscast.
Your quick access guide to what's going on around campus. I'm Megan Freeman.
And I'm Farron Salee. It was during the spring of 1962 that the first black student enrolled at what was then Abilene Christian College. Now, as the university honors Black History Month, a panel of current faculty and former students met at Moody Coliseum on Monday. Over 1,000 students attended to hear about the diversity issues and how they've evolved over the decades.
Moody Coliseum played host to a panel of important figures throughout ACU's history in its integration of diversity. The panel included recent graduate and assistant director of multicultural enrichment Byron Martin to ACU's first African-American student, Billy Curl.
I did come on a mission. I came because I was accepted. I was advised to apply, and it worked out very well. I think the church is going to have to stand out in the forefront. I feel that there has to be more of a dialogue on the race issue. And if it's not done from here, I don't see it being done very well.
After the panelists told their stories, painting the picture of race on the ACU campus, they opened up the forum to questions from the students in attendance. One of these students was Drew Bowen.
They had spoken about racism on the individual level. And what my question was, since they had mentioned that it doesn't happen as much, now that it's not as overt, I was asking about institutional racism and racism that happened behind the scenes by businesses and by systems that are already set in place.
While it is agreed that there will always be racial issues facing ACU and other institutions like it, Dr. Otis Wright maintains an optimistic look forward.
Each individual needs to just look at themselves in the mirror and say, am I doing what Christ would do as I relate to other people? And I think we will find that we can do more.
For the JMC Network, I'm Blaine Singletary.
The Black History production offers another opportunity to experience culture on campus. The Black Students Association is reviving the tradition of the Black History production. With the event just days away, students are perfecting their various acts for the show.
Last year that we did a full-out production was in 2009, but it's coming back strongly. They can expect to see, first of all, a great production that's going to highlight our students. It's going to highlight our students' talents, their ability to dance, their ability to sing, their ability to recite and enhance poetry that's already been written, as well as some that is written by some of our students. They can also expect to get a real sense of the history behind Black people, kind of sort of, not necessarily exactly being here at ACU, but they can get a feel of that history through the Middle Passage and a piece about the Middle Passage, as well as about the 1920s and the Harlem Renaissance, all the way through the 1950s and the 60s and the Civil Rights Movement. And so a lot of history, as well as history displayed through art. It is $5 pre-sale, $7 at the door. Group rates are $4 a ticket for groups 20 and above.
On next week's newscast, we'll have more coverage of the events of the Black History production.
2 ACU deans are resigning from their position at the end of the current academic year. The Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Charles Mattis, is leaving the university to open a dental practice. And also, Dr. Jack Reese, Dean of Biblical Studies, is stepping down, but he'll stay to fill a different role here at the university. And it'll be tough saying goodbye to Dr. Mattis.
Yes, but we're certainly glad that Dr. Reese will be sticking around. While we're saying goodbye to some leaving campus, we're also welcoming others who are taking some new roles in the Wildcat family. We'll meet the new head football coach, Ken Collins, coming up.
The Optimist says I can access all of the same news online now, in addition to reading the paper. Does that mean I can access it from my iPhone as well? Wow, I guess it does. The JMC Network, take your news with you.
Morris & Mitchell, the advertising and public relations agency dedicated to providing quality marketing communication services while offering affordable rates. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or find us at morrisandmitchell.com. Morris & Mitchell, creative minds at your service.
Earlier this year, ACU's head football coach Chris Thompson left ACU to become the offensive line coach at Texas Tech. The JMC Network's Taylor Langston sat down with ACU's new coach Ken Collins to talk about what to expect this season.
Well, Coach, you've been a part of this program for the past 7 years. You came here with Coach Thompson. How are you going to be transitioning from an assistant coaching position to the new head coach?
I couldn't ask for any more of a smooth transition because I've been here for 7 years, and I've seen this thing from the ground up. And you know, I was so like-minded and like-hearted with Chris that really I felt like I was almost a head coach because there was nothing in our program that I disagreed with.
Well, and you said in an interview with Grant Boone, the thing that you learned from being an assistant coach with Coach Thompson is to hire good coaches and let them do their job, let them be good. What exactly did you mean by that?
The first 15 or 20 minutes that I talked to Darian Doolin and Mark Roboto, it was nothing about football. It was about, I want to know their heart. Darian Doolin first coached at Tarleton, was at Sam Houston, but I got to know him when he was at Tarleton. Really good coach. His guys always played hard. They would always knock the mess out of you. Mark Roboto is he's our linebackers coach, and he'll coach do our special teams. He constantly pushes the envelope on doing different things, but he's really good at what he does, which I'm fired up about that.
Well, a really powerful statement was made when you said, I'm going to quote you on this, okay? We win games and take these young men and develop them into men of impact who will positively influence the future families that they have and ultimately society. Talk about how specifically you develop your players when you're off the field.
You know what? This is life, and we're very transparent with them. Sometimes it's kind of uncomfortable, but being a man and messing up, and that's how you learn from life is making new mistakes. You know, the key is just, dude, make a different mistake. That's what we tell them. If you're making the same mistake, then come on.
Students decades and even a few weekends ago couldn't pull out their blue suede shoes, but last week the Board of Trustees approved a change to the dance policy. The revision was initiated by the Students Association in conjunction with the Office of Student Life. Instead of prohibiting all forms of dance at university-approved events, the new statement allows certain dance forms with the approval of Student Life. Only officially recognized organizations may request to dance at events, and the university began offering dance classes to students in the fall 2012 semester.
Students gathered Thursday to support the National Collegiate Day of Prayer. A tent was set up between the campus center and the library for students to come in and out throughout the day.
Now is the time we like to spotlight a personality on campus. This week we'll be meeting Alice Welsh, who helps students add a pleasant tune to the Williams Performing Arts Center. That's on this week's Voices from the Hill.
My name is Alice Welch, and I teach part-time piano at Abilene Christian University. And I have taught here for about 15 years. In addition to teaching here, I have a private studio at my house where I teach all ages. Right now, the youngest one I have there is in 2nd grade, and the oldest one that I have there is 60. Back in 1984, my husband was offered a job teaching in the English department here. So we moved here from West Virginia University in Morgantown, West Virginia. Since my kids and grandkids are in Texas, I have no reason to go back to West Virginia. I mean, I still love West Virginia. That's where my roots are, and I love it when I can watch West Virginia football or basketball on television. But all of my immediate family's in Texas now. And when my husband died, people said, well, you're going to go back to West Virginia? And I said, no, everybody's here now. So I guess I'll just stay in Texas. Unless my kids move out of Texas, then I might move. My favorite memories would be when my best students perform really well.
There are a few events coming up this week to take note of. For those students seeking financial aid, the deadline for FAFSA is coming up on Thursday, March 1st. For more information, you can go to FAFSA.gov or contact the financial aid office. And also, this week is Love Your Body Week. To celebrate, the Rec Center will be offering various free fitness classes. There will also be special chapel forums. For more information on this week's events, contact Student Life.
And also keep your eyes peeled for the new ACU IDs. Those will be offered in the depot beginning next week. And if you're looking for something to do this weekend, enjoy some live music at the 2nd Annual Outlaws and Legends. And hopefully you won't become an outlaw after you go there. That's all the time we have for today's JMC Network News. I'm Farron Salee.
And I'm Megan Freeman. Hope to see you around campus.